Okay, so your business has just invested thousands of dollars into building a new website and you love it. It's absolutely beautiful and it checks every single box. But hold on. Immediately afterwards, the business changes. New locations, new team members, revised offers, updated pricing, everything. And after just a few months, it's become something that you don't even want to share with other people because it's out of date. So this is the time-old trap that thousands and thousands of business owners fall into every single year. The freelancer or agency that your business has outsourced your website and design development to probably knows more about doing that stuff than you do. And if they don't train you or handle the transition properly, it becomes something that's just going to become out of date very quickly. But don't worry, because there is a solution to this. It's something that only the top tier agencies and freelancers offer. It solves this problem and it makes sure that your website is something that your business is proud to send people to for years and years to come. It is called website management and growth, not website maintenance. I'm going to show you everything that goes into the perfect website management and growth offer, what it includes, how you should phrase it, why it adds value for both the business and the business owner without being too jargony, and it helps you find the middle ground and make this transition seamless. If you're new to the channel, my name is Andy Milligan, founder of MMG Design in Columbus, Ohio. I've done digital strategy, consulting, and design work for many prominent local organizations, such as the Columbus Chamber of Commerce, Franklin University, University of Fenway, and Ohio Small Business Development Centers. I offer some form of this management and growth plan to every one of my clients in order to get the most out of their website for the long term, create a marketing solution that works for the business as a whole, and make the transition from design from the agency standpoint to the business owner standpoint almost seamless. So now that that's out of the way, let's dive in. Okay, so to start, we're going to group this into two buckets. And this is because when you're talking to clients, you don't want to come off as overly jargony. There are things that we do as an agency or freelancer that are fundamentally very complicated. And that's why earlier in my career, I took on a lot of projects where I was doing all this stuff on the back end. And long after the site launched, I was continuing to work for this business with these other clients, and I was not getting paid for them. A lot of this is clarifying the services that you're actually providing and showing the value of them. So we separate this into two simple categories. Number one, growth and management. Number two, backend monitoring. This is the stuff they care about, and this is the stuff you want to hit on very confidently. This is the stuff that is less important, and it goes into every single website project. So delineating that in the contract from the beginning is very important. The first thing you include under growth and maintenance is this thing called dedicated attention, and you phrase it exactly like this. This is where you review the previous month, you show analytics, and you strategize for the upcoming month. And I'm telling you guys, getting on the same page with your client every month, or as a business owner, being in touch with your designer or freelancer, have access to make changes, ask questions, how do you use the software, all of this is very important. And it also builds goodwill, it builds a marketing team between the two of you guys. You can strategize and become true partners in your business. This is where you can conduct ongoing software training and continue to grow. Number two, content updates. So content updates, depending on the software or builder that you're using, you can cap these at a certain number of hours, but it's also important to delineate what requires development experience and what the business owner or marketer of the client can do for themselves. So it's going to include things like new buttons, pages, copy, links, all these things that require more expert experience and knowledge that the marketer or the business is not going to want to go in and do for themselves. They would rather outsource that to you. And the structure of this plan allows them to pick and choose which goes where. Number three, under growth and management, analytics. So for analytics is where you list the services you're going to be offering in terms of what softwares you're integrating. So this can include like Google Analytics, Microsoft Clarity, any SEO tools that you're using. I use SendFlow. Make these necessary and known and communicate these in your monthly strategy meetings. And number four, ongoing training. So ongoing training and your monthly strategy calls, like I said, this dedicated attention piece is super important, and you want to make sure you list that first. I'm going to be including the PDF for the most recent proposal I've sent out, for the most recent management and growth plan I've sent out, so you guys can see how I laid this out. But this dedicated attention part is very important because it's where you're going to touch base on all the rest of these things throughout the duration of your plan. And you guys can structure this yearly, monthly, quarterly, biannually, whatever you think the business owner is most comfortable with. Because like I said, it's a marketing partnership. You want to work together to make sure that the knowledge of the business is translated to the people that have the development experience in order to make it live on the website. So next up, backend monitoring. This is the stuff that the client does not care about, but it's important that they know about because they know what's going on behind the scenes and what, if a problem comes up, what it could be traced back to. So one, hosting SSL. This is where you inform each other on statistics for the website, so you can inform them on the current plan you guys are on. If you're using Webflow, I know that our current capacity limit in data storage is up to 500 concurrent visitors, and it has a certain bandwidth limit that we communicate with all of our clients. Number 2, image optimization. I'm sure you guys all know the one client you have that doesn't understand that a 10 megabyte file cannot be embedded into a website. This is where we communicate to each other load times, speeds, how we go in and monitor these things and run constant checks to make sure that the website is performant and up to date as possible. 3, redirects, transfer management. So this is where we communicate with each other, everything that goes into the launch process and how all the 301 redirects from the old site, if you're doing a rebuild, or a new site, if you want any outbound links to make sure they're redirecting to the right pages. This ensures that none of the links on the site will be broken should any outbound links be broken to external sources, and stuff like that could hurt your search credibility, so you want to make sure that that's always being monitored. Number 4, email delivery and spam protection. This is where we communicate the reCAPTCHA validation that you've installed on the site, and they're going to be monitoring all the form submissions that go through the site. So if you're the freelancer agency, you probably have some kind of notification set up to where you're monitoring any forms, and you can continue to block any spam email addresses or any forms that get entered that are not productive or the business owner does not want to see. Number 5, legal policies. So for these, you can use Termageddon or IEVenda to update the privacy policies and terms and conditions on the website, which are very necessary and important to have. Make sure you don't skip this and that the business owner is aware of this simple effect. You don't have to go into the details of explaining why they're so important, but make sure that that is communicated between you guys, that it is known that these will be updated and that you will not be at risk for a site audit or a lawsuit because you have neglected these things and that you've taken care of them. Number 6, software licenses. Software licenses, if the agency or designer is using any software to design and develop the website. So I use Webflow, Adobe Creative Suite, Canva, all these creative tools that go into your workflow, Tiny JPEG, all these things that compress images. Make sure it's communicated that that's what they're being charged for, and that's a big part of the value you're offering. Number 7, critical updates. Webflow, by its nature, is hosted through AWS, so there isn't a huge time suck on the agency side to go in and make sure that the website is updated. I know with WordPress this was always a problem, but with critical updates, you want to make sure that you are notified, and Webflow will do this when there's a repair phase or the site has gone down for any reasons. And it's also important that that's communicated between you two. So if they find in a rare situation that their website is down for whatever reason, you will be on top of things and you'll be there to rectify it and address them of why it happened. Number 8, multi-layer security. I'll just group in these last 3. So multi-layer security, backups, and DNS management. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this, namely daily backups, user security, application security, statistic code analysis, file system security, server utility, and network security. So I don't even memorize that, and I do this every day. So this is where you find that balance. If you don't want to be overly jargony with the backend monitoring stuff, so you kind of branch under these very simplified and easy to explain umbrellas. DNS management is pretty simple. It's basically handling the redirect software from an old host to a new host, checking in, making sure that the TXT files, the A records, and the CNET domains are all up to date, and that if they go down for any reason, you have access to go in and make sure that's not the problem. And 24/7 uptime monitoring is another one that you can add. And that's basically just a disclosure that you will be the one on site should anything go wrong with the website. It's just that peace of mind for the business that, okay, if we're paying for this website management and growth plan, we are covered. We have all of our bases covered. There's nothing that can happen that will be outside of our control in terms of what we're investing in with this business or agency. So this is everything that goes into the perfect management and growth plan, and it leaves the ability for you to structure it in a way that you see best for your client. It's going to be organized into yearly offers, quarterly offers, biannual offers, or of course monthly offers, depending on what suits your client's budgets and needs best. And I know it seems like a lot of information, but you always over-index on communication in the beginning without being overly jargony, because it allows you to tailor back and find a solution that feels a lot more custom for both parties. And it's also dependent on what the skill set and comfort of the marketing agency, the marketing team that's in-house, and the website builders are going into. So maybe having all of these is not necessary. But the most important thing is that you structure into these 2 categories so that you're not being overly jargony, but you're also delivering the value for the business over time. This is what allows for a true marketing partnership, and it allows the website to be the centerpiece of that, and the communication and skills gap between building the website and the people that it's being delivered to is not broken. I hope this helps you guys ease that transition. Be sure to check out the PDF below with all this information of the most recent proposal I've sent out like this to help you guys get started, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.